to Sedona. I'm Captain Mike Barnes, and I'll be your instructor. For this lesson, we're going to start on the ground and focus on some basic concepts. Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies. This is your plane, a classic, the Cessna 152. Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily switch to cursor mode. The cursor is handy for interacting with menus and cockpit controls or instruments. As you can see, activating the cursor also displays the toolbar. The toolbar is a quick access menu that allows you to control various aspects of the simulation. Try to find and open the basic controls panel. The basic controls panel is a useful reminder of the button layout for the devices you're currently using. Now try to find and open the camera panel in the toolbar. The camera panel allows you to access the various views and camera modes of the simulation. Go ahead and close all the panels for now. Right now, we are in the external view mode. Let's switch to cockpit view next. In front of you is the yoke, the primary means of controlling the aircraft. In the simulation, you'll be controlling the aircraft with your peripherals of choice. So let's hide the yoke for now. Some instruments allow multiple interactions. For example, rotating a dial clockwise or counterclockwise. In these cases, you need to lock the cursor onto them in order to interact. For example, take a look at the clock in the middle of the dashboard. Go ahead and lock the cursor on it. Now change the clock time. You can unlock the cursor once you're ready. From now on, we're done with the cursor, so go ahead and hide it. All right, as we've seen, when you want to look around you, it's easy to rotate the camera. But you can also move it freely in the cockpit to get a better view of anything you want to see, even through a window to look outside. Pro tip, once you find a camera position you like, you can save a shortcut to easily get back to that view anytime. Now reset the camera to its original position. Then try switching to your custom one again. All right, that covers all the main camera functions available in the simulation. Try to familiarize yourself with them a bit more. Then reset the camera to its original position whenever you're done. Nicely done. This session is all about getting familiar with the aircraft, in this case a Cessna 152. Along the way, we'll cover a few commands to navigate through the skies. In front of you is the yoke. Think of the yoke like a steering wheel. Turn it left or right to control the ailerons and bank the aircraft into turns. Take a look at the trailing edge of the wing while you're turning the yoke, and you can see how it controls the ailerons. Okay. What makes the yoke different from your typical steering wheel is that you can pull or push on it. This controls the elevator at the back of the aircraft to make it climb or descend. Look at the horizontal tail while you pull on the yoke. You can see the movement of the elevator. Nice. At your feet, you'll find the rudder pedals. On the ground, they'll help you steer the aircraft. The upper part of the pedals are also your brakes. In flight, they move the rudder on the vertical stabilizer to yaw the aircraft. That's mainly for small adjustments, to coordinate your turns or compensate for a plane's left-leaning tendencies during takeoff and climb. Look at the vertical stabilizer while operating the pedals to see their effect on the rudder. Nicely done. Next up, located near the center of your cockpit, is the throttle. Push forward to increase the power. Pull back to decrease it. Look at the throttle and select it. Keep it selected and push it forward to increase power. Power is increased. Now pull it back to decrease power. Power is decreased. Now we'll do the same without focusing on it. Deselect the throttle. Look away from the throttle and increase power. Set throttle to idle. Great job. When the engine is on, any change in power will be reflected on the RPM indicator. Check it out on the right side of the dashboard. This tells you how fast the engine is spinning in hundreds of revolutions per minute. To see your speed, look for the airspeed indicator. It's on the left side of the main instrument panel. It measures the speed in knots. For an altitude reading, check your altimeter. It's located on the right side of the main instrument panel. The altimeter has 3 hands, similar to a clock. The long, thick pointer indicates 100-foot intervals. The short, thick one is 1,000-foot intervals. And the long, thin one, 10,000-foot intervals. And with that, we're done here. In our next lesson, though, you'll get to see how it all feels in the air. The skies above Sedona. Hell of a view, isn't it? Let's begin our time together going over some basic controls. Starting with your eyes, get familiar with your surroundings. Take a look out your side windows. Visibility is optimal today. Are ideal conditions to take in all Sedona has to offer. See if you can locate the airport down below. Look for the runway. It's hard to miss. That's an affirmative. We have visual confirmation on the airport. We already talked about basic controls while we were on the ground. Time to see how it all feels in the air. We're currently set to a cruise attitude, the position your aircraft should be in for regular flight. Now let's try making a turn with a gentle yoke movement. I'll show you what I'm talking about. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees. Try banking to the right. You have controls. Turn right toward the city of Sedona. Great job. As we're flying towards Sedona, let's try climbing up and down. Gently pull back on the yoke to climb. Give it a try. Maybe go gentler on the controls next time. For the descent, it's the same principle, except you're pushing on the yoke. Have a go at it. Gently pitch down. That'll work. Remember where the airport is? Look around to find it again, then turn us in the right direction. Control action nice and smooth. Now that you're more familiar with the aircraft and the surroundings, the next step is to go deeper into handling and techniques. Soon enough, you'll be able to enjoy trips all on your own. To help demonstrate pitch, I've drawn 3 lines on the windshield. Notice how the middle line matches the horizon while we're flying level. This is the cruise attitude. The lower dotted line is the climb attitude, and the upper one is the descent attitude. Let's dig deeper into what that means. Pull back gently on the yoke until the climb attitude line matches the horizon. Then, maintain that attitude. On your altimeter, you can see you're gaining altitude. However, you're losing airspeed. Not a sustainable situation. Keep working on it. You'll get better. All right, level back out. Our speed is increasing, and our altitude is stable. That's okay. Push gently on the yoke until the descent attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude. You got your aircraft in a dangerous spot. Push gently on the yoke until the descent attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude. With a nose-down attitude, it's no surprise altitude is decreasing and speed is on the rise. Nicely done. Why don't you bring us back to level flight? There you go. Speed is decreasing, altitude is stable. Nice. I suggest a little more practice. Try to make only small adjustments to your pitch to avoid overcorrection.